සතුට ගෙන එන ගම්මැද්ද රට නගන ජනපෞර.
A very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to this Sunday's edition of Primetime News, coming to you live from our news studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
Water levels of the Nilwala and Ging rivers rise. Many areas under threat of floods. Heavy showers exceeding 100 millimeters in the south and Ratnapura. A warning from the Met Department. Dengue threat rises in 7 districts. Requirement for exams must be reassessed in the age of rapidly developing artificial intelligence technology. A statement from the President. We have not received written notice and are not willing to resign. A statement from governors. Will support President Ranil Wickremesinghe unconditionally at the next presidential election. A statement from Parliamentarian P. Harrison.
One person has died due to floodwaters in Mava, while 8 people have been left injured after heavy showers battered the island. According to the report published by the Disaster Management Centre, 2,275 people from 621 families have been affected by the inclement weather. Meanwhile, the water levels of several rivers have also increased. News First, Sharon Benedict brings you the details of the weather situation in the country.
With the heavy rains that have been experienced in Sri Lanka, the water levels of the Nilwala and Gin rivers have increased. Now, this has resulted in several areas facing the threat of floods due to the increase in the water levels of the Nilwala and Gin rivers. The Nilwala river has been overflowing since last night after heavy showers battered several areas including Deniyaya, Muravaka, Pitabaddara and Akurasa. Flow of traffic along the Akurasa-Siambalagoda road has come to a standstill after the road was inundated due to the Nilwala river overflowing from Panadugama, Akurasa. According to our correspondent, many byroads and low-lying areas have also been inundated. The Mathura Deyandura road is also flooded. The Hakmana Mulatiana road has also been inundated from the Ovilana culvert. Flow of traffic along the Vallatota-Tihagoda road was affected after the Nilwala river overflowed from Vallatota-Mathura. This has also led to several low-lying areas including Kadduwa and Malimbada being flooded. According to our correspondent, the Mathura District Secretariat and the Disaster Management Unit intervened to expand the estuary of the Nilwala River. The Nelluwa-Dellava road was flooded from Batuangala this evening after the Gin River overflowed.
Landslide warnings have been issued to Pitabaddara in Mathura due to heavy downpours. Vasanta Senadira, a geologist attached to the National Building Research Organisation, said that landslide warnings have also been issued to areas in the Gaul, Hambantota, Kalutara, Mathura and Ratnapura districts.
Cyclone Mocha has entered Bangladesh and Myanmar and is hitting the coasts of those two countries at a speed of 190 kilometers per hour. During the past few days, the effects of Cyclone Mocha were felt here in Sri Lanka, and as a result of that, the Meteorological Department issued warnings against the fishing and naval communities to avoid sea areas in the central and western seas of the Bay of Bengal.
A multi-day fishing vessel that went out to sea, disregarding warnings by the Met Department against engaging in fishing activities due to the strong winds caused by Cyclone Mocha, faced an accident 15 kilometers off the Beruala lighthouse. The Navy said that water had begun to seep into the vessel, which caused the vessel to sink. The 6 fishermen on board the vessel were rescued using the Sri Lanka Coast Guard craft CG-208. Cyclone Mocha is now hitting the coastlines of Bangladesh and Myanmar after intensifying into the equivalent of a Category 5 storm. Cyclone Mocha is bringing heavy rains and winds of up to 195 kilometers per hour, which could see dangerous flooding on land around the Bay of Bengal. Storm surges of up to 4 meters could swamp villages in low-lying areas in Bangladesh and Myanmar. Forecasters warned Cyclone Mocha could be the most powerful storm seen in Bangladesh in nearly 2 decades, and around 500,000 people have been evacuated to safer areas. Particular concerns have been expressed for the many Rohingya refugees living in makeshift homes in the camps of Cox's Bazar and people on the western coast of Myanmar.
Now let's take a look at the weather forecast from the Met Department. The Met Department forecasts that showers or thunder showers will occur at times in the central, Sabaragamuwa, western and northwestern provinces, as well as the Gaul and Mathura districts. Further, the Met Department predicts winds of between 40 to 45 kilometers per hour across the island at several times. The Met Department also urges the general public to take precautions to minimize damage caused by lightning.
Well, thank you, Sharon, for bringing us that comprehensive report. Moving on to other local news, President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the requirement for exams must be reassessed in the age of rapidly developing artificial intelligence technology. The President made this statement addressing the meeting of the 2023 alumni group of the University of Colombo.
We are going through a knowledge revolution. We are going through a time when the whole system of teaching is changing. The technology that have brought us, COVID has seen online education. On the other hand, what will be the impact of artificial intelligence in this process? Do you even need exams? That's a question that we have to think and we have to find the answer.
The meeting also coincided with the 40th anniversary of the University of Colombo Alumni Association, where a pinnacle award ceremony was held. President Ranil Wickremesinghe was awarded the first award, which recognizes former scholars who have made unique contributions to the country, society and the university.
The association was formed by the university.
Venerable Dimbul Kumbure Vimaladamma Thero, Member of Parliament Professor G.L. Piris, Professor Deshamanya J.B. Disanayaka, Tilak Karunaratne and 11 others also received the award.
Final awardee for the night, the University of Ceylon, Colombo campus.
Security continued to be tight at several areas in Colombo today as well.
Even today, police, special task force, army and police riot squads were deployed to several areas in Colombo. Police media spokesperson SSP Nihal Talduwa said yesterday that the action was taken based on unspecified intelligence information. It was reported that security has been tightened based on information that several groups associated with the University of Colombo are preparing to exert some influence on the government. Accordingly, the security forces had taken steps to tighten the security around the Colombo University, Colombo Independence Square, around the Kolpiti Junction and around the temple trees. Meanwhile, the Jatika Jana Balavegaya expressed views regarding the increase of security presence in Colombo. Police has been brought here from all parts of Sri Lanka and have set up camp. This is a conspiracy for Mahinda Rajapaksa to become Prime Minister. The people will take to the streets. The military and the police are well aware of this as well. We heard that the police is still camped there and that they will be there tomorrow as well. A group from the Rajapaksa faction says they are gearing up to make Mahinda Rajapaksa the next Prime Minister. Another faction says that this is not the case and that the opposition will bring someone. And another camp is not in favour of that as well, saying that they would take to the streets if Mahinda becomes PM. It is clear that they create false beliefs among the people only to take political decisions such as these. Meanwhile, journalists questioned the leader of the Tamil Progressive Alliance, Mano Ganeshan, regarding rumours about the appointment of Mahinda Rajapaksa as the Prime Minister.
අපිට ඇහුණා මේ මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයාට අගමැතිකම දීලා මොකක්ද ආණ්ඩුව ඉස්සරවන කතාව මොකක්ද මේකේ රටේ ලොකුම රාවයක් යනවනේ දැන්.
There is a big rave going on now in the country that Mahinda Rajapaksa has woken up from his sleep and now he is asking to give him the premiership. Mahinda Rajapaksa is requesting this from the current president. He says that since he made Ranil president, now he should make him prime minister. We say it is fine. Please go ahead and appoint him as the prime minister. If it is required, please resign and give him the presidency as well. However, please dissolve parliament and give us an election. We will come to make a government. Then there is no problem. The people's voice will then be truly heard.
Governors point out that they have not received any written correspondence from the President or the Presidential Secretariat requesting them to resign. They point out that therefore they have not reached a final decision regarding vacating their posts.
Governor of the Eastern Province, Anuradha Yahampat, said that although various media reports claim that governors have been requested to resign from their positions, she has not yet received written notice of such a request. She added that she is undecided on her resignation. What is the governor of the Uva province saying? We inquired on this matter from the governor of the Uva province, A.J.M. Muzammil. He said that he will continue to hold the office of governor as he has not yet been informed to resign. What is the response of the governor of the Sabaragamuwa province? Tikiriko Bakhadua, the governor of the southern province, said that he is currently overseas but assured that he is ready to resign from his position upon receiving written notice to step down. What was the response of the governor of the northwestern province? Admiral of the fleet Vasantakara Nagoda, the governor of the northwestern province, said that he will continue to hold the office of governor as he has not yet received written notice to step down. What is the governor of the northern province, Jeevan Tyagaraja, saying? The governor of the northern province also said that he has not received a written notice to resign. Previously, the Presidential Secretariat informed the governor of the southern province, Tikiriko Bakhadua, governor of the Uva province, A.J.M. Muzammil, governor of the northern province, Jeevan Tyagaraja, governor of the eastern province, Anuradha Yahampat, governor of the northwestern province, admiral of the fleet, Vasantakara Nagoda, and governor of the western province, marshal of the air force, Roshan Gunathilaka, to resign from their posts. A spokesperson at the Presidential Secretariat said that although it is common practice for the governors of the provinces to resign after the resignation of a president, the current governors did not do so even several months after President Gotabaya Rajapaksa resigned. The official further said that several politicians had continued to request for the removal of the governors in their respective provinces. Meanwhile, the governor of the southern province, Vili Gamage, said that he is ready to resign as soon as he receives notice to step down.
No, I haven't been informed of anything like that. If we are informed to resign, we must do so immediately. It has been mentioned in the constitution. We must obey that. We are appointed by the president.
The Samagi Jana Balawegya alleges that the resignation of governors is being delayed due to the influence of the SLPP.
When a president resigns and a new president is appointed, the appointments made by the previous president should be vacated. They must resign. But for almost a year, the governors did not resign and the Rajapakshas did not allow for them to be removed. Ranil Wickremesinghe now cannot appoint his representatives, who are the governors. Ranil Wickremesinghe has become a hostage of the SLPP. What is the president doing? He is doing whatever the Rajapakshas want. The inability for the president to appoint the new governors and the refusal of the current governors to resign from their positions clearly shows the lack of competence of the president to initiate a program to develop the country, and also the lack of support from the majority of the SLPP party to the president to implement any program for the betterment of the country.
This is the opinion of the Frontline Socialist Party.
The Pohottuwa party is keeping him trapped systematically. The removal of the governors appointed by Gotabaya Rajapaksa too is another part of this. Ranil Wickremesinghe is trying to spread his power. We can see this as part of the love-hate relationship between Ranil Wickremesinghe and the Rajapakshas.
Former Member of Parliament P. Harrison said that he will support President Ranil Wickremesinghe unconditionally at the upcoming presidential election. He made this statement while addressing a press conference held in Anuradhapura today.
Until today, we worked under the leadership of Sajith Premadasa, but we cannot be satisfied with the actions taken by the party. We cannot be satisfied with the decision taken by the leader of the opposition for the country, because one thing is that this country faced many crises like never before. In the face of those crises, we wished even then that the only solution to these crises was a president of the United National Party. Last time, we all, including Ranil Wickremesinghe, voted for Sajith Premadasa as the presidential candidate of the United National Party. But that opportunity slipped from him. Ranil did not have a seat, but as a nationalist parliamentarian, he became the Prime Minister of the country and became the President of the country. Even though Ranil Wickremesinghe became the President of the country in a very short period of time, the program he brought to this country when he took over a country without electricity for 12 to 15 hours, a country without gas, a country without fuel. So the solutions to these have been gradually given today. However, when people were dying in gas queues, no one talked about these. There are no signs of local council elections. If there is, the presidential election will be held around June or July of the next year. We are ready to help Ranil Wickremesinghe in that presidential election without conditions. Let me tell you one thing. Before 2 more Poya days, half of Samagi Jana Balawegya are going to join hands with Ranil Wickremesinghe, and no one can stop it. Some MPs showed their face to Sajith during the day, but conduct discussions with Ranil Wickremesinghe at night.
Sajith Mahathara මූණ පෙන්නුවට රැට රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමත් එක්ක සාකච්ඡා.
A program to distribute land deeds to nearly 120 families in Badulla was held today at the Badulla District Land Reform Commission. This was headed by the Minister of Tourism, Harin Fernando. Minister Harin is good at his work. The media might have an issue as to why Vadivil Suresh is also here. Party politics aside, I am here in Harin's party. I am in Harin's party. There is no issue. We will move forward together. We will come for the elections with Minister Harin Fernando. Party logos are not an issue for me. We are with him. I am the General Secretary of our trade unions. Both the chairman and the General Secretary should be on one side. We understand that too. When the time comes, we will come together. In the future, we will unite the people of the Badulla district and the villages in the area. This is our way forward. Meanwhile, parliamentarian Ashok Abesinghe says that the Samagi Jana Balawegya has no intention of joining the government.
The working committee of the SJB convened recently and decided that we do not intend on joining the government. We will support all positive work of the government without any conditions or expecting any positions. However, the working committee decided that we will not directly support the government as a party. We also made a decision to form an alliance joining all the forces of the opposition. The working committee decided that as the main party of that alliance, an SJB candidate will contest as a common candidate of the alliance at the next presidential election.
A ceremony was organised today in Trincomalee to celebrate the 270th anniversary of the re-establishment of Theravada Buddhism in Sri Lanka.
This event was held to commemorate 270 years since King Kirtisri Rajasinghe, who reigned in 1750 AD, sent a Dutch ship to re-establish Upasampada, which had been lost in the country. He sent a delegation led by Bilbagedararala to King Boromkot of Siam, or present-day Thailand, who then arrived to Sri Lanka with Upalitero and re-established Siam Upasampada in the country. The land where the 4 bo trees were planted to commemorate the re-establishment of Siam Upasampada has now been designated as an archaeological site. 50 Thai monks were received from the seas of Trincomalee in a Sri Lankan Navy ship to celebrate the 270th anniversary of the establishment of Theravada Buddhism in the country at the archaeological site of the 4 historic bo trees in Trincomalee. However, a group led by Jaffna District MP representing the Tamil National Alliance, Selvarasa Gajendran, protested against this celebration, and the venerable Theros were received from another location this morning. Meanwhile, another group protested in Trincomalee this morning against cancelling this program. News First correspondent reported that the group had arrived at the site where the bo trees were located, defying orders by the security forces. Police then took steps to disperse the group of protesters, including a member of parliament who was present at the location.
තිරුකුණාමල ගෝකන්න පුරවරයට දෙමළ සංවිධානය එකතු වෙලා ජාතිවාදයේ වපුරවමින්.
We vehemently object this program carried out by Tamil organizations in Gokana Trincomalee to spread racism and divisions among religions. Why do we condemn this? If the people of Trincomalee oppose this, we would have not been sad. But why are we sad? People from areas like Jaffna are coming and spreading their influence in places like Trincomalee, and several racists in the Tamil Alliance, people who are political slaves, are agitating young people and bringing them to these locations. We are opposing all of this.
ස්ථානයන් වලට බලපෑම් කරමින් මේ දෙමළ සංවිධානයේ තුල ඉන්න යම් ජාතිවාදී මිනිස්සු, ජාතිවාදී පුද්ගලයෝ, දේශපාලන මහල්භාවයෙන් ඉන්න මිනිස්සු තරුණ අය පුලප්පු කරවලා මේ ස්ථාන වලට අරගෙන ඇවිල්ලා කරනවාද මෙන්න මේ නාඩගමට එරෙහිවයි මේ විරෝධතාවය දක්වන්නේ.
Also in local news, health units point out that due to the prevailing rainy weather condition persistent over the island, the number of dengue patients reported in the island will increase.
The number of dengue patients reported in the first quarter of this year is over 32,000. According to health sectors, this number is much higher compared at the same time period during the last 2 years. Of the identified patients, 50% is reported from the Western province. The number of deaths reported so far this year is 18. Meanwhile, a discussion on dengue prevention in the Western province will be held tomorrow.
There is controversy surrounding an anesthetic drug that was used in the country. On the 9th of May, the National Medicines Regulatory Authority informed the Medical Supplies Division to discard 100,000 doses of the anesthetic propofol. This drug had been clearly identified as a drug that had not been registered in Sri Lanka. Questions on this matter were raised on the program Mavatha, aired on our sister channel Sirasa TV.
Do we not know what is happening before these arrive? Do we not test these before they come into the country? They have been directed to stop the use of the drug propofol due to the adverse reactions. There is a beautiful sentence here. It starts off by saying this is an unregistered medicine.
Registered medicine. එහෙම කොහොමද වෙන්නේ? මේ නෝටිස් එක දැම්මට පස්සේ පාවිච්චි කරොත් එහෙම ඒකට වග කියන්න ඕන වෛද්‍යවරයා.
The ministry sends us medicine and then sends a circular saying that you have to be responsible from the point that it is used.
වග කියන්න ඕන. ඒක මාර කතන්දරයක්.
ඒකට ප්‍රසම්පාදනයේදී අදාළ වෙන්නේ නැද්ද ලියාපදිංචිය?
බලපානවා.
අපි
දන්නේ නැහැ කොහොම ආවද කියලා.
Where is the law of the country? This is a massive issue. Until these adverse effects were seen and they were directed for the use of the drug to be suspended, this drug was used. The true issue is that Sri Lanka does not have the required laboratories to test the quality of these drugs. Every year, multiple drugs get discarded on the grounds that they are substandard and not suitable for use. Sometimes the drugs are brought down in January, but we receive a circular in September saying do not use these drugs. By that time, the drugs have been used and are over.
මේක භාවිතයෙන් ඉවත් කරන්න කියලා. ඒතකොට භාවිතා කරලා ඔක්කොම කළ ඉවරයි.
The Professionals Forum of Physicians on Medical and Civil Rights convened a media briefing and spoke about this issue.
If a person goes to hospital and is injected with an anesthetics, they die. If a drug is administered to their eyes, they go blind. If drugs are administered to their ears, they go deaf. The people of this country have to suffer the consequences of the medicine regulatory bodies failing to bring down drugs that are of a proper quality. The Medicines Regulatory Authority and the Health Ministry must be ashamed of themselves for giving the people of this country drugs that are substandard and not registered with the Medicines Regulatory Authority. The issue here is that who is going to be held responsible for the loss caused due to millions of dollars being paid to this Indian company for the import of this substandard medicine.
The All Ceylon Health Trade Unions Federation also spoke about this issue.
The poor people of this country pay taxes not for politicians to steal, engage in various corrupt activities and line their pockets with it. We would like to ask the government not to play with the lives of the people. Using an unregistered drug in a country is no wrong matter how you look at it.
News First attempted to contact the Minister of Health, Kehli Rambukwella, for a response on this matter. However, our attempts to contact the minister were futile. Time now for a short commercial break. Stay with News First. We will be right back.
News First with the
ඉන්ෂුරන්ස් කොයිද තියෙන්නේ? සුපර්මාකට් එකෙන් වගේ තෝරලා බේරලා ගැලපෙන ඉන්ෂුරන්ස් එක අරගන්න නම් මේ තියෙන ඉන්ෂුරන්ස් සුපර්මාකට් එක. ඉන්ෂුරන්ස් එක ගන්නවා නම් ඉන්ෂුරන්ස් එකට කතා කරන්න. ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ඉන්ෂුරන්ස් සුපර්මාකට් එක insurme.lk.
Welcome back to the news. A mother creates a world and nurtures it. Today is Mother's Day. A single day is not enough to appreciate the value of mothers. For as long as the world exists, every day is Mother's Day. This is for all loving mothers who shoulder the burden of their families, sacrifice everything for the betterment of their children.
She who gives life to a child by turning her red blood white sacrifices her entire life in the name of her children. On this day, the world celebrates Mother's Day. The National Secretariat for Elders revealed that 6,215 mothers in our country are living in homes for the elderly. Its director, Kapila Ranarol, says that among them, 5,781 people live in private elderly homes and 434 people live in government elderly homes.
We have identified that mothers have become prisoners inside their own homes due to three reasons. The first is the work at home, taking children to school or taking grandchildren to preschool. Secondly, we find some mothers stuck in their homes due to love. These mothers are not allowed to leave the house or associate other elders. Some children keep their parents locked in the house in fear of what society might say about them. These elders who are living in homes for elders are not the only elders who are living sad lives. We request children to treat their parents as humans, to consider them as people who have likes, dislikes, dreams and aspirations.
මනුස්සයෝ හැටියට නැත්නම් ආශාවන් නැති ජීවත් වෙන්න බලාපොරොත්තු ඇති අය හැටියට සලකලා ඒ අයත් එක්ක ගනුදෙනු කරන්න.
The Volkswagen Beetle Owners Club in Sri Lanka celebrated 70 years of Volkswagen in Sri Lanka yesterday. News First, Kenza Farouk reports.
Did you know the first ever Volkswagen Beetle was commissioned by Adolf Hitler? Once commissioned for his German soldiers as an economic car, is now the people's car, which also means Volkswagen. The very first consignment of Volkswagen was imported to Sri Lanka on April 1953, which began the ardent following of the much-loved Beetle that found many homes and has become a part of the family, having served generations of owners throughout the years. The club teamed up with former ages in hosting an event to mark 70 years of Volkswagen in Sri Lanka on Saturday. A limited edition token depicting 70 years of Beetle motoring was presented to the members. A display of the first consignment of Volkswagen Beetles was seen at the premises. All these cars might look like a machine on four wheels, but to these people, this carries a long story. Reporting for the News First team, this is Kenza Farouk.
The 15th General Convocation of the Southeastern University of Sri Lanka was held on Saturday.
The 15th General Convocation of the Southeastern University of Sri Lanka was headed by Chancellor Senior Attorney Faiz Mustafa. This year's convocation will be held on Saturday and Sunday. Attending the convocation as the chief guest, First Lady Professor Maithri Wickramasinghe urged students to utilize their degree to empower the country.
Remember, you also have an obligation to utilize that degree, not only to empower yourself, but to consider whether you need to give back to your country, especially at this critical juncture. To relinquish your belief in another country, in greener pastures, or in an easy public sector job in Sri Lanka, look to the private sector and more bravely towards self-employment to start your own business if possible. The state too has its own responsibilities of honoring this social contract, not only by generating viable employment opportunities, but also by creating conditions that encourage and support small and medium industries and startups.
Certificates were awarded to students of the faculties of Cultural Studies, Technology, Management, Islamic Studies and Arabic Language.
The Voice Sri Lanka, undoubtedly the most popular reality TV show in Sri Lanka that everyone is talking about. The Voice Sri Lanka 2023 that rose to the very top of not only on television but also on social media completed the semi-final stage of the contest at Stein Studios Ratmalana yesterday.
Sirasa TV that brought reality television to the homes of Sri Lankans proved their status yet again by making the Voice Sri Lanka 2023 an unforgettable, one-of-a-kind experience for all Sri Lankans. ITV holds the copyrights for this ultra-successful show that has been held in 180 countries. MTV Channels Private Limited, the company that holds the rights to the program here in Sri Lanka, brought to you the excitement and finesse of this international show through Sirasa TV. The semi-finals, where the top competitors of the program compete for a spot in the finals of this international franchise, was held yesterday at Stein Studios in Ratmalana.
The Voice Sri Lanka semi-finals!
10 contestants, trained by 6 of the best in the music industry here in Sri Lanka, took to the stage, vying for a place in the top 5. Purnima and Chintaka took the stage first, competing from Team BNS. Chanupa and Subhash took the stage at the semi-finals from team Coach Kasun. Shamalka and Sharon competed in the semi-finals representing the team of Coach Shashika. The team of Coach Umaria was represented by Renato and Shehan. Two talented singers who re-entered the competition through the comeback stage after being eliminated previously also managed to make their way to the semi-finals of Voice Sri Lanka 2023. For the first time in the Asian region, representing the fifth team of Coach Supun, Ramya and Mahesh took the semi-final stage of Voice Sri Lanka by storm. The general public voted and chose 5 contestants to compete in the finals of Voice Sri Lanka. Chintaka Roshan, Chanupa Deshita, Sharon Silva, Shehan Rangana and Ramesh Sashinka, alias Ramya, made it to the top 5. These 5 contestants who were crowned by the general public as the best of the best will compete in the finals of Voice Sri Lanka 2023 next Saturday.
The Voice Sri Lanka.
Also in local news, several events were organized at the Lankaji Vihara in Japan in line with the Vesak celebrations.
An almsgiving was held for Venerable Theras and the premises of the temple was made colourful with various Vesak decorations. The event was organized under the direction of the Chief Sanganayaka of Japan, Venerable Banagala Upatissa Thera, and was attended by dignitaries including the Sri Lankan Ambassador to Japan, Rodney Pereira.
In news overseas, the grand final of Eurovision 2023 took place in Liverpool yesterday.
This year's show opened with a special performance from Kalush Orchestra, last year's winners. The group were joined by the Princess of Wales, who made a surprise cameo playing the piano in a short scene. The winner of Eurovision 2023 was Loreen from Sweden, who wowed audiences with her hit song Tattoo and garnered an impressive total of 583 points. Loreen, who previously won the contest in 2012 with her chart-topping song Euphoria, has now become a 2-time Eurovision champion. She now joins Ireland's Johnny Logan as one of only 2 people to have ever won Eurovision twice. Sweden's victory marks their 7th win in the competition, tying them with Ireland as the most successful countries in Eurovision history. Finland secured 2nd place with an impressive 526 points. Israel's Noah Kirel also had a strong showing, finishing in 3rd place.
But Germany will provide Ukraine with additional military aid worth almost $3 billion.
Germany will provide Ukraine with additional military aid worth almost $3 billion, including tanks, anti-aircraft systems and ammunition. German defense minister said that Berlin wanted to show with its latest military aid package worth $2.95 billion that Germany is serious in support for Ukraine. Germany has become one of the biggest suppliers of arms to Ukraine, crucially giving the green light for the delivery of modern battle tanks in the form of its own Leopard 1 and 2 models, along with sophisticated anti-aircraft systems needed to fend off drone and missile attacks.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.